Hi there. Some of you have mentioned that you'd like a walkthrough of the caravan now that we've got it, so I'll do this quick video for those of you that can't come and see it just yet. Apologise in advance, it's a little bit windy here today, beautiful day otherwise, but definitely a bit windy, so the sound might be a bit muffled while we're outside. Alright, so here we go. So this is the back of the van. So if you see in the Hilltop sign at the top there, above the window, there's a round black thing. That's the reverse camera called Safety Dave. So that comes up on a screen on the mirror in the ute, so that when I'm backing the caravan I can see what's behind me. It's also got a microphone in it as well, so when Lynn's telling me directions, I can hear them from the ute. Very helpful. And when we're on the road, I can see what cars are behind me and if I need to pull over, etc. The back bumper I got upgraded to a 3-bar bumper. This is a lot stronger, and the intention is that if we do at some stage decide we want to get some bikes, we can put a bike frame on the back and this will hold the extra weight. If we come around the side now, got tunnel boots that go right through on both sides. A little bit hard to see there with the stuff at the other side there. They go right through from east to west. This is the bottle store. Certain things you definitely can't run out of, so that lives in there. This is the nerve centre of the electrical system. So bottom left you've got 3-in-1 charger. So that's either power coming from the AC system, like we are at the moment, we're plugged into the camp, or it's got a DC charger, which means that while we're driving, the alternator in the ute charges the batteries in the caravan. And then there's the solar charger as well. We've got 4 panels on the roof, 800 watts of solar panel, and that comes through there as well. Just directly above that is the MPPT battery management system. Very high tech, don't understand much about these to be fair. But this runs all the solar and manages the amount of how it's going to the battery and things like that. And then at the bottom right is the inverter, which is a 2600 watt inverter. So that's where all that is. That there, straight in front there, that's the diesel heater. It's controlled from the inside. That there, that unit there is what's called Witty brake system. That helps to manage that. And then we've got here, we've got an outdoor shower. So you can actually mount the nozzle up on the side if you wanted to have a shower outside. We'll mainly sort of use it for washing our feet when we're going to the beach, or kids from top to bottom, I guess, grandkids, whatever's required. It's hot and cold as well. Haven't actually used that yet, but we'll just leave that sitting in there somehow. There we go. That's the water inlet, that's where you fill the tanks up. That's to do with the heating system. Nothing for us to do there, that gets serviced. Below there's the two lithium batteries, so two 200 amp hour lithium batteries. They come standard with one 100 amp hour lead battery. Lead batteries you get about 50% of the capacity. And lithium you get 100%, so this is we've got 400 amp hours in total, and with the one lead 100 amp you'd only be getting 50 amp hours, so effectively we've got 8 times as much power as standard, so we should be able to freedom camp quite well. Behind that little exhaust there, that's for the diesel heater, and behind that again is the leg, the stabilizer leg to to stop the caravan rocking around when we're parked. And then just behind the wheel there, you'll see there's a brass tap fitting. That's where you can plug into your mains water and run directly from mains if you're not wanting to use your tank water. "16-inch alloy wheels. I upgraded from the standard 15-inch to give us a little bit more ground clearance if we're in a dock camp or something like that. That's where the toilet cassette lives. I won't show you that. There's not much to see, to be honest. We also put a vent in there. We upgraded with a vent so that when you open the toilet flap inside to use the toilet, it turns a fan on, which exhausts to the outside for obvious reasons, which is quite a useful upgrade. That's just where the power comes. Obviously we're at the camp at the moment, so the power just comes directly in. And down the front here, this is a better look maybe at the tunnel boot. You can see, firstly you can see a toy that I haven't even unwrapped yet. I bought a 12 volt air compressor so that I can pump up the tyres in the ute and the caravan. And then the tunnel boot goes right through there, so right from one side to the other, so lots of width. Got some storage bins in there, fishing rods and things will go down the front, anything that's wide. Then we've got around the front here, you've got what you call your DIX box, DIX box, which again is a bit of an upgrade from the standard. It's higher than the standard ones, which gives us a bit more storage room. It's got cabinets on both sides, which I'll show you better on the other side. At the front there is that's the diesel tank for the diesel heater. And in the middle here, in this bin, we've got 2 LPG cylinders and storage at the front for the grey water hose and anything like that you want to keep away from the actual caravan. And then this is only on the DIX box as well. Got an extra compartment up the top here to store things, nice and handy to the ute. And around this side, I'll show you, this is the actual slide out. It's got a slide out like this on both sides. So this one's just got the chili bin in it at the moment. Ultimately it'll have our barbecue on there. We've got to go back to Auckland and pick that up. The idea of this is you can obviously just leave it mounted in there and pull it out when you want to cook, and put it back in when you're not using it, keep it out of the weather. The other side currently will just be storage, but if we want to get a generator in the future, the generator will live on the other side. And here's the hitch setup. So we've got an electric jack called a black jack, which using for lifting the caravan up to put it onto the tow bar of the ute. That's got a spirit level on the top as well, so we can get the right level when we're getting it level to live in. There's a handbrake there, of course. Safety chains tied up in the background there. This hitch at the front here is what we call a DO35. So again, another upgrade. So rather than having a standard sort of coupling with a tow ball, it has a cup in here with a hole in the top, as you can see. And on the ute it has a pin. So the pin just comes up through the bottom there and locks on. So very, very secure system. Very precisely engineered, so there's no movement left or forwards and back, so you eliminate that jerk that you get when you're towing sometimes. And also as a safety feature, it swivels. So it swivels that way, and it'll also swivel the other way. Well, I can't make it do it but without the weight of the ute, but it'll swivel both ways. And the idea of that from a safety point of view is if the worst should happen and your caravan rolls, it won't roll the ute as well. So bit of a safety feature there. We've got this here, can't see much, but it's there's a wire there onto that little unit there. That's your breakaway system. So as well as having chains going onto the ute, safety chains like any trailer, it has this breakaway system which attaches to the electric brakes. The idea of that is if the coupling comes off and then for some reason the chains don't cope either, this pin pulls out, which activates the brakes, and all the brakes lock on the caravan. So hopefully it stays on, you know, your side of the road and doesn't go off into the path of oncoming traffic. That's the idea of that. There's also a tap out here as well, connected to the tanks, so you can use water outside. Right, come back around here. Hopefully we're out of the wind a little bit more on this side. So it's rolled up now, but you can see almost the whole length there's a canopy or an awning that rolls out. You can put that out for shade, obviously, and you know, keep the rain off if you had a clothes rack outside with some clothes in. On this side we've got that's a bug light. It shines yellow so that at night you've got light, but it doesn't attract bugs. There's an outdoor speaker there. There's actually two of them. So this hooks up to the stereo inside, so if you're sitting outside you can play music outside if you'd like to. There's a little, I don't know quite what you call this, picnic table I suppose. So if you're sitting outside you've got a flat area to put your drinks on or whatever it is, and then you can just close it up when you're not using it. Another power point here on this side if you wanted to run something from this side. There's your second speaker there. And in here, so this is an outdoor power setup, so you've got, you know, your two plugs there. Underneath that black box to the left you've got two 12 volt sockets, so you can power up things out here. I'll put like the cordless drill charger and things like that in here so they're out of the way. There's also a bracket there. You can actually mount one of the TVs out here if you wanted to, so if you had an annex put up and the kids were out here, grandkids, they could watch TV out here if they wanted to. And that's that. And then this is the main door. So quite complex, these things. They come in two halves basically, so you can lift the handle up and then operate the door like that. So you've actually got like a fly screen or security mesh door there. You can get air in, and you can lock it from the inside, so it's still safe, and keeps the bugs out if you've got it at night. And other than that, it's a standard door. And then there's a big vent at the bottom just to make sure there's plenty of air going through while using gas and so on. This handle at the side here lights up. I'm not sure if we'll see it during the day. Yep, you can see the little blue bubbles. Just makes it easy to spot your caravan at night. And there's the other side of the tunnel boot there, and the leg below it. This little portable step that we bring with us, and behind that with the green mat just below the door, that's actually another step that pulls out. So if we're at the side of the road and we don't want to get the big step out, we can just use that to get in. And inside you've got these pretty little blue lights around the step as well. Fire extinguisher over to the left hand side there. There's a cupboard on this side which is very handy for just all your odds and sods and bits and pieces. We've got some keys hanging up there and so on. And on this side of the door there's a little hatch here that goes into the tunnel, and that's where you can keep your shoes. And then if we come inside, right, so this is sort of standing in the kitchen area and looking back at the lounge. Down below to the bottom left you can see that round black thing, so that's the intake for the diesel heater. And then you've got the table, of course. There's another flap in behind there. You can get into the tunnel boot there if you need to. The table swivels around and you push it down. And then there's another squab which we keep under the our bed. And that's where we can make another bed up. That's where the kids will stay, grandkids, when they come to see us. And then you can see there's really good windows. So we got this one made larger. They come out with quite a bit smaller window on that side there. This window at the back sort of takes up the whole back. And then you've got another one on the side. So we really wanted to have this rear lounge set up, so that when you're back into a caravan park, generally up against the fence, we aren't here at this stage, but generally up against the fence, and so you've got a bit more privacy from your lounge. Heaps of storage, so basic stuff like magazine storage there. The thing on the left, that's a motion sensor for the security system. And then if you work your way around, there's cupboards galore all the way around the back, and then all the way along the side at the top to there. And then if I go back into the lounge, we've got a TV there. So we can play DVDs as well. They go through the stereo system. So if it's a wet, miserable day and we've got no coverage, we can still put a DVD on. Another set of cupboards there opposite the kitchen. And that bottom right circle, that's the actual outlet. So that's where the heat comes out for the diesel heater. It's got a remote control. It's also got a manual control inside. And there's an app, so you can turn it on multiple different ways. They're apparently very effective. That's actually the manual switch for the heater behind the TV there. This cupboard setup here we got modified from standard. Normally, if you see those two cupboards at the top right there, that's normally one big cupboard, and in there is a 3 kg washing machine. We didn't see the point in having a washing machine, so we changed it out. Put a slide out double bin on the right hand side. I've still got to get a fascia made for the front there so you don't see the bags. And then slide out pantry on the left hand side. Plenty of drawers there for storage. And then storage up top of the fridge there. There's the actual fridge. So freezer at the top, fridge at the bottom. It's a compressor fridge, not a 3-in-1. 3-in-1 fridges have definitely got their advantages, but the compressor fridges are bulletproof, so we've gone that way because we've got plenty of solar, so we can do that. Up here on the roof, we've got at the back here, that's a roof vent. So it's got blinds. Currently it's got the closed off blinds. So if I just open that up, that's the roof vent, and you can put a fly screen across there as well, so you can have the vent up and keep bugs out. And this just, you flip these two over and then lift that up, and that's it. We've now got a fully open vent, and there's some other positions that it can go in as well. Looking back this way, so the inside we've got 2 speakers as well, one in the lounge and the other one in the bedroom. Air conditioning, so split system, hot and cold. We'd use it when we're in a camp, plugged into AC, and sometimes, maybe for a short period of time if we're running on solar, depending on how much sun's around, just to take the extreme heat or cold away, maybe run it for an hour or something. But I think it'll definitely be worthwhile. And then we've got the actual kitchen. So good sized bench top. We've got the sink and the tap on the right hand side there. Another good window there. That's the controller for the electrics on the left. I'll go over that a little bit in a minute. Above there, lots more storage. Got the microwave there. It's also a convection oven and an air fryer. And then we've got the stereo there, which, as I said, you can also play DVDs through the TV. And then over here we've got the range hood with a light and a multi-speed fan to get rid of the nasties. On the bench, so this part, we moved the actual stove over. They're normally further to the right by the bench, but we decided we'd move the whole setup left to give us a little bit more workable bench space beside the sink when we're actually using the stove, because that part there goes up and then the actual lid on the cooker lifts up as well, so you obviously lose quite a bit of bench space. So that's why we did that. So it's a four burner gas cooker. It's got a gas grill and a gas oven down there below it, and then more storage there, more drawers and cupboards. There's a huge amount of storage here. We've got 2 or 3 cupboards we haven't used yet, so you know, and we've bought everything, all the comforts of home. We've got everything we need. So yeah, massive amounts of storage. Just close that again. I'll turn this, power this up. Whoops. Here we go. High-tech solution. So this is your high-tech, this is the control center, I guess. So this connects with everything underneath. So on the top left, you'll see that green bar, scale, graph, whatever you want to call it. That's your battery level. So at the moment 100% because we're plugged into AC at the camp. Obviously if we're running on solar, you keep an eye on this, on your usage. Just got the time on the right hand side there, the inside and outside temperatures, and then you've got your tanks. So you've got, you see tank 1, tank 2 on the left, which are grey in colour, so that's your grey water, your wastewater, and then tank 3 and tank 4 on the a little bit further to the right, which are blue, so that's your clean, your fresh water. So you can see the grey water says 0%. Obviously there is some in there, but not much. The blue water, or the clean water, that's at 75%. So you know, we've been here for 4 days. We've used a quarter of a tank, or quarter of the capacity. That's two tanks, so they're 90 litres each. So the 180 litres of fresh water, 180 litres of grey water, and then below that it's got the water pump. So you can turn your water pump on and off. We turn it off at night so that when you use the toilet, it doesn't wake the other person up because it makes a bit of a noise. Then you can move the screen over here, and this has all the lights around there, and they're all named. You got bedroom, kitchen, seat bulkhead. I've got to rename these, by the way. You can do that. Annex, I won't bother. Roadside light, that's the opposite side, and that's annex bug free for those yellow lights. And then you've got all your fuses, so if you blow a fuse it'll tell you where it is. And then your actual power, what's going on. So on the left hand side you've got AC charger, DC charger, which is from the vehicle, and the MPPT, which is your solar. And then we're below, as I said, we've got 200 amp hour batteries, so that's 400 amp hours potential. And the current usage is 13.31 amps. So that's pretty low. We haven't got a lot running in here except lights. And then it just goes back to the start again. So I've turned the lights on now, and you can see there's heaps of them. So all around the edges, there's lights on that vent as well, which I haven't turned on. Massive amounts of light, so no shortage of illumination at night time. And this is just where the jug and toaster and coffee machine live. Essentials. You'll notice the subway tiles on the back there. This was Lynn's doing. The whole interior colour scheme was Lynn's doing. She's done a great job. I love it. Then we've got a sliding door here. So you can separate the two parts off. So if we had somebody staying in the front, we can separate it off and we can have it both and have our privacy. And this is our bedroom. So it's actually a queen size bed. It's what they call a caravan queen. So it's exactly the same width as a queen size in a house, but it's about 3 inches shorter. You can actually pull it out and put a bolster or pillows down the other end if you need to. But Lynn and I find we've got enough leg room anyway. It's very, very comfortable. Above the bed, there's more storage there. Lights all the way around again. There's a wardrobe on either side of the bed. There's another vent in the roof, which is blinds and fly screens as before. And there's two, the brand name Sirocco fans. So even with the air conditioning, you know, sometimes in the summer we might want a bit more airflow. So you can drop these down, swivel them to wherever you like, and then turn them on. Multi-sweep speed to whatever you want. And there's a timer on this side. You might see that blue light. So that's 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, etc. So you can set a timer so that it'll go off after a period of time. Come around here. So there's another TV at the other end, down the bedroom here. This is also a smart TV, which you can play DVDs directly through it if you want to. There's another magazine pocket there as well, which you got the remotes in and some magazines. Little storage cupboard in the corner there. Huge windows in the bedroom. Great view outside. There's reading lights on both sides above the bed. And down beside each bed, there's ample storage. Big drawers pull out there. And then there's a cupboard underneath as well with, you can put stuff in as well. And then the actual wardrobe. This is my side. We don't actually really hang anything. I've got some jeans over there, just sort of fold clothes up into storage like travel cells, and then keep that in there. Keeps it nice and tidy. Okay, coming back around. Ugh, you nearly saw me then. Hi. So this is the shower, and we've got a mirror door. Obviously you need a mirror when you're getting flashed up into your best gear to go to the local pub or fishing club. But also it gives you, more of a sense of space, having that large mirror there. And then inside it's, your standard shower. It's got a adjustable shower head, which is a removable flip tap. Pretty standard thing, shower. But it is, as big as most household ones. So it's quite, because it's got a pump, it's got great water pressure. And then it's got lights around that roof vent. The roof vent opens up. And it's also got a fan on it. So if you're in the shower and you want to get rid of the steam, you can blow it out that way. We also put a couple of hooks up in here so that if you've got a wet raincoat or something, you can hang it in there when you're travelling to give it a chance to dry out. And then if I back up again, on the other side is the bathroom. So quite compact, but it's got everything you need. Whoops, there's a double-sided cupboard with mirrors on at the top there. And then good old sink and lots of storage again at the bottom. Another vent in the roof with a fan in it, window in here, towel rails on the wall, and the good old toilet. Okay, so that's it. I think I've covered everything. Our little home away from home, or our little home at home, because that's what we're living in, which we are extremely happy with. It's exactly what we wanted and more. So whoever you are watching this, if I'm sending you this, it's because I care about you. So we'd love to see you. All the best. Bye-bye.